Okay, guys, it's no strange concept to you that you are competing with all the other men around you for the similar results, right? We all have basic ambitions. Like, yeah, some of us have more spiritual and fulfillment based understandings of what we want, and some of us just want material success. Whatever it is you want, one way or another, you're competing with someone else for it. Okay, some of these things are indirect competition, some of them are quite literally direct competition, okay? So if you're a sports person, you if you're going for some form of sports accomplishment, you have to be better. You have to be better, otherwise you don't win. You win by being better. Be it on the day or be it your discipline throughout the months of training, you have to be better to beat that person. Otherwise you won't win, right? Yeah, you can be some spurg and go, oh, well, Taylor, actually, this one time, someone won because it was, biased judges. Do you want to win through chance? Do you want to win through, oh, well, there was a biased judge, so I won, brilliant? No. You want to win fair, you want to win right, you want to win correctly, and you want to win, period. You want to win full stop, that's it, end of story. You don't just want to win by chance, you don't want to lose either. None of us want to lose, okay? And what happens if you do lose? Because we can use fear and love to motivate us, but if we just focus on the fear for a second, if you lose, what do you get? Second place. Third place, right? You didn't come out first, so you will not get the rewards of winning, no matter what it is. And we can put this into a real world scenario. Let's say you've not done anything to improve your life, you're 24, and you approach a woman in a social setting. Maybe you're in the park walking your dog and you see a girl on a bench and you sit next to her and you start talking to her, and she can sense that you aren't quite about it. She can sense that you're not, going to be able to provide for her in the correct ways. And then, you say goodbye to her and you just go about your walk. Another man comes along who's stronger than you, more intelligent than you because he's been using his brain, just more charismatic because he understands social skills and he's been, trying to learn how to communicate with people more effectively. He's more present because he practices mindfulness. All of these areas he's beaten you in. And guess what? Because he's put the work in, now he's secured your future wife or your potential future wife because he's a better suitor for her. He has won in the dating marketplace. And this, don't just use women to motivate you. Obviously, you want to do this for yourself and stuff. But let's be honest, the driving force for a lot of us men is women, right? Because you want to be able to reproduce. You want to be able to... You know what I learned, actually? I don't know how true this is, but I heard a man talking about this on a podcast. Something like... I think it's 60 or 40%, a high, about half of men throughout history, this isn't even just now, this is like throughout history, don't get to reproduce. Ever. So call it half of men, right? Half of men don't reproduce. And that could be for a number of reasons. Like, it's not just that they're little spurgs. It could be, anything, right? But that's a large percentage of lineage that just ends with them. They don't pass their bloodline on. They don't. You know what I mean? They don't get to reproduce. That should scare you. If you don't want kids, that's not going to absolutely terrify you. But for me, who really does want children, that's okay. That's not an option for me. That's not the case. I'm going to succeed and I'm going to have children. Right? That's just it. Okay. And in that scenario there, where that guy has obviously been a much better opportunity for that woman, she's going to choose him. Why would she not? She's going to choose what's best for her, and you can't blame her for that. I mean, he's come along, he's in better condition, more intelligent, more socially intelligent, charismatic and pleasant to be around because he's, worked on his mental health and stuff. So you've been beaten in all those areas, fitness, mental health, and social, connection, all that stuff. You've been beaten in these areas, and then you also don't get the reward of the woman because he's beaten you there too. So what do we do about this, right? Honestly, this is my best advice. Be truthful with yourself and look, okay, right now I am at X position. So I train X amount of times a week, I read this amount of pages, I do this amount of mindfulness, I get this amount of sleep normally. Like, you can look at the areas of your life you can improve, it depends on your own goals, but you know what it is you need to do. So many people say to me, they're like, oh, Taylor, how do I get in better shape? And I say, what do you think you need to do? And that they know, they actually know. They tell me, oh, well, I need to be in a calorie surplus or a calorie deficit, depending on who they are. Oh, I need to train X amount of times a week. Like, they know. They actually already know. They're just asking you for some secret. There is no secret. You just need to do it. You need to take the action and you need to just achieve. There is nothing more to it. And you can only blame yourself when you don't take that action. There's no one else who's going to get in your own way like you will. Or you can work with yourself and make so much more progress because you're just more determined than you have been in the past. Like I was saying about competition, right? So we're all in competition with one another in some sense or another, because we all have similar goals and aspirations and we all want the same things. So if you want to win the competition, here's what we do. We're honest with ourselves. We assess, our areas where we are now, and then we assess, okay, what are our competition doing at our level? You don't just go into the gym and challenge the best fighter at the gym for a fight, right? You challenge the fighters at your level for a fight, because then it's a fair fight, right? You're not just going to compete with the top 1% if you're in the top 40%, right? It's just not going to happen. So we assess ourselves, we assess our competition, and we make the small incremental changes over a long period of time to be better than your current competition. Let's say you right now watching this video, you don't train, you don't eat right, and you don't sleep right. Okay, so you're in the bottom whatever percentage of guys. Level these 3 things up, get better at exercising, sleeping, and dieting, or recovery should I say. Get better in these 3 areas, and now look, you're in better condition than most of the guys you know. Brilliant. So now we can level up the competition even further. Now we can... Fucking hell. So, if you don't want to be a sports person, it's fine, bro, I'm just going to hold it. Then, of course, it depends on your own goals. This is quite an individualistic sort of area that I'm trying to discuss here, because we're all competing for different things. Yeah, we want similar end results and stuff, but we need to just look at where we are, okay, and look at the people who are on the similar level and just go, okay, how do I beat them? How do we just get a little edge on them so that you are better in the end, okay? I will say this, before you get into it and before you're training consistently and stuff, it is so easy to just bosh your competition, to just be better. Because what are they doing? What is the average man doing right now? Okay, so video games for a few hours a day, phone for a few hours a day, eats shit food, gets a shit night's sleep, works a job he disdains. And there's so many micro things as well, like poor posture, poor body language, poor articulation, poor hygiene. Do you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of areas you can beat these guys at. Because as I say, the average is rather pathetic. And I think we're going to see a lot more men improving themselves over a period of time. I think we're going to see now, because of certain male influences that are now coming into light and are really gaining traction, I think we're going to see a lot more guys trying to level themselves up, which has a societal net positive. But just understand this, as more guys get better, the competition gets steeper. So now you can't just train and eat right and have a decent job and expect that high level success anymore. You need to do more, because if everyone's doing those things, it's now no longer rare. It's now no longer that desirable, because there's levels above that you can attain. Let me be totally honest with you guys, okay? I had much more of a competitive edge through the start of the year. And even, I think before I started my YouTube channel, I was much more competitive and I was much more about what I'm preaching. And so I want to serve as an example to you guys what performing competitively is going to look like, okay? Because I, like you lot, want to be better and want to improve myself and want to incorporate everything I know how to achieve the results I'm after, okay? So don't just look at those top influences and go, oh, well, that's really difficult to get, so I don't know how I'm going to get that. Don't worry about that. Worry about yourself and worry about the people at your level, and then beat them. And then, as you move up, you beat them too. And eventually, over time, you get higher up in this competition, in this race. I hope this is helpful. I hope this is informative. If you've got any, thoughts and opinions, do just leave them in the comments below. I'll try and reply to all the ones that do get left in there. I appreciate you guys watching this. Leave a like and subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the next video.